It's been almost a year since the release of Doctor Who, which came out October of 2023. Now, a lot of players are wondering what happened to this product. Well, in today's video, we're going to take a look at this Universes Beyond lineup for Doctor Who and the financial outlook of future products in this lineup. Guys, we have a lot to cover in today's video that you don't want to miss. From a Dalek saying exterminate and a product lineup that has a solid fan base, what could go wrong with a Universes Beyond product of this nature? Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thank you again for hanging out with me on my channel. Wizards of the Coast has a bit of an issue with how they're doing their Universes Beyond products. It looks like they're trying to correct it, but the Doctor Who Universes Beyond product, as well as a few others in this lineup, are destined to fail in the long run, but not destined to fail in the singles market. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing exactly what I mean. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the product itself. Remember, this thing came out in October of 2023, which is almost a year ago. We have solid data to show the information of the sales of the products. We can take a look at the singles market to see how well these products have been selling. And of course, casually, you'll see which players own the product, and we can take a look at the prices. All of this gives you a good understanding of where the product is headed, at least in the short term. And we have other products of this like in the long term that we've looked at in the past to give us information about where it's going to head and if you should be buying sealed product of this nature, if you should wait for some more deals to come along, or are the deals already here? So let's take a look first at what it's selling for right now. Now, if I told you guys right now that this thing locally is still $349.95 Canadian, which puts it around $265 US, I'd tell you right now, you can find it cheaper than this. You can go on TCG Player and you can find this product for around $249 a box. And of course, there's a chance for serialized cards, and it's not a bad set itself. A lot of players did enjoy it, and there are cards that are being utilized from the set, especially things like the Cybermen. Now, the big thing here, of course, was the Commander decks. Now, the Commander decks locally are $249.95 Canadian, which puts them at around $175 US, which is actually a pretty good price, okay? When I looked around and compared this to things like TCG Player, as well as a whole bunch of different trading and selling platforms, this is actually a pretty solid price. Now, they're not all standard. You're not going to pay the exact same price, because some of these products are actually more popular than other. The Timey-Wimey deck still commands the most money at around $80 Canadian, and that's the same as online, which means buying it here in Canada would actually be a lot cheaper. Now, players who bought this product really haven't lost out when it comes to the Commander decks, because they've actually held a fairly decent value. But those collector boxes have not panned out the way you would think. They have not done well. Guys, take a look at this. It's kind of scary, but take a look. What I'm showing you right now is just the selected page of course, the Mythics. They pretty much all fit on one page, and you can see here, there's not big value. If you can find a serialized card, yeah, it's a couple $100, sure. Not all of them, of course, are adding up to the same value, but when you look at the overall value of the cards, they're low, especially for what you paid to buy a collector box. Now, the rares are a little bit more interesting because there's like 18 pages of them, and on first glance, these do not look good either. 25 cents, 50 cents, 30 cents. It looks kind of scary, but the good news is the further in you go, looking on the pages, things like Cybermen, those cards do have value, 10 to 14 bucks. But the overall value of the product has just lost so much value, and so many got cracked, that there's still a glut in the market. Now, that means that there's nothing suppressing the price, nothing raising the price, because nobody's playing with a lot of these. And because they're not being sold out, the prices haven't gone anywhere. It doesn't mean they're not valuable. It doesn't mean a card can't turn around. But from just glancing at the product, other than a few cards, you've lost a ton of money on this product. You got the fun factor, you got the playability, but the price tag that Wizards of the Coast has attached to Universes Beyond products does not hold up in this case. This is not Fallout. Okay, Fallout, Warhammer 40K, those kind of built-in audiences are something of the next level. When we saw those cards go off and the power level of the cards, players like hooked in, tuned in, and said, this is for me. Whereas when we took a look at what was going on with the Doctor Who deck, you realize that there is so much missing. That there wasn't enough of the cards connecting together to really have strong commander play, casual play for sure, but nothing that's going to drive prices higher, which means anyone who speculated lost a lot of money. You did, you're going to, it's not going to get any better, okay? That's the easiest way I can shape it up for you. But that doesn't mean that when you look at those sealed products like the commander decks, that it may not go somewhere. When you take a closer look at things, not just the cursory glance, a couple of things become readily apparent. Stores did not stock tons of Doctor Who. They knew it wasn't going to be a bang smash hit. So yeah, bigger stores may have 20 or 30 copies of these commander decks around. That's not a lot compared to how they've carried products in the past. That means there's no reprint coming probably. This means over the long term, if these cards never got reprinted, if they never came around again, the value of some of these products actually is going to hold up pretty good. And the fact you can find some of these commander decks for 35 bucks Canadian means buying one or two is probably not a bad idea if you believe that it's going to go up later based on the information I'm giving you. Now, the singles, though, that's a different story. The singles are not being purchased en masse. They are very slow to sell across the gamut of all the pages I looked at. The sales of singles for the commander all the way through the collector boxes is just not happening. Nobody's desiring these cards enough to make a demand on the, to make a run on the demand. Like, you have to make it so popular, so sought after, some crazy build in a commander deck that demands whatever card you're after, from a Cyberman to a Dalek, whatever it may be. Nothing's happened, at least not yet, which means the singles aren't doing anything. Now, this has happened before and things could turn around. But when you took a closer look and looked at those numbers, they're really bad. Let me just whisper that one more time for you. They're really bad. So that means right now you've got tons of runway room to do anything you want with this product. Any singles, anything you want, go after it if you think it's going to be great. You want to build a deck for fun and pick up a whole bunch of singles and build customized decks, it's not going to cost you a lot of money. The people who bought into this product and dumped it back onto the market, they've already lost, which means somebody else scavenging is going to be able to pick up a lot of value for this product. A fan base that was solid like this probably had Wizards of the Coast thinking there'd be collectors and investors who would buy some of this product and eat up some of the market share, and it really didn't happen. There were a few people out there. I have some friends who bought it myself, and I know a few real die-hard Doctor Who fans who said, no, I'm not buying it. It's not something I'm interested in. I don't want to learn to play. I don't want it on a shelf. So it's kind of either hit or miss, which leads to a bigger problem for Wizards of the Coast. This isn't the only product that's really failed. You can look at Assassin's Creed Universes Beyond. It failed miserably as well, but you had success with things like Lord of the Rings. These hit or miss products need to be fine-tuned. I think it's becoming apparent to Wizards of the Coast what they need to do is to build in actual worlds, like they did with Lord of the Rings. They can go back and build an entire Fallout world. They can do the same and do that with Assassin's Creed. And going forward, I think it's more likely that they will get more bang for their buck if they knuckle down and build an entire set. They can put some reprint cards in there to kind of flesh out the set under different artwork. But if they add these sets in and build them uniquely, they're going to have a lot more success because they can be standalone played sets that are just going to be more in tune with what players are after. These one-off sets that don't flesh out the actual world that you're talking about as a short little Universes Beyond isn't going to do well. But with something coming up like Marvel, I expect to see a full set. I expect to see a big, huge, glossed out, amazing thing that's going to draw the fans in, and that's what they should be doing. It's okay to build these, but it doesn't do well if it doesn't sell and nobody wants to buy it from you afterwards. If there's no secondary market, that doesn't encourage stores, it doesn't encourage your investors, and it doesn't encourage the single sales of these products. Knowing I can go back right now and spend 20, 30, 40 cents over and over and over again to buy and basically build my own decks is insane. They shouldn't be that cheap because you paid $50, $60, $100, $200, $400 for the collector box only to find out there's 20 bucks in value. That's scary. And yes, I know you can get serialized cards. And I know some of these cards did get the tendies back and forth with some quick sales upon release. We covered that here in the videos on this channel. But now over the long term, looking at everything, it doesn't look good. Okay, which means somebody's going to find some value in the future, be like 2 years down the road, when these things are finally absorbed by the market, they've rotated out, and somebody says, oh, I wanted to get that deck. How much is it now? That's when the prices switch. And that's when somebody who took the risk probably comes out ahead. No guarantees in life. You're just gambling money, but somebody will. You wait and see. Anyway, thanks again for hanging out. I hope you found this video fun, informative, and you got to hang out with the Moxman. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I do put out new content every single day, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow and see what your comments say about this, because this and Assassin's Creed, I could have done a whole separate Assassin's Creed video, but it doesn't need to happen right now. Not enough data, but it doesn't look good for that said either. Thanks again. Either. Thanks again for hanging out, guys. I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Hey guys, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons of my channel. Because of these amazing patrons' daily uploaded content, well, we do it every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Man, that's a lot of videos, but that's okay. You guys are more than worth it. So thanks again to my supporters here on the channel. Whether you're a patron, a YouTube membership member, or even a fan of the channel watching every day and giving thumbs up. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Welcome back, guys. You're here at the end of the video. Backstage pass. And it's kind of interesting. I'm glad we're covering Doctor Who because there's a lot going on there. The Universes Beyond products largely are a success. It's making Wizards of the Coast a lot of money. But it doesn't help the backdrop of what happens after a set releases. This messes things up for anybody who wants to buy it longer term. I'm not talking about investors either. But why and what and how do you justify $350 plus tax Canadian to buy a box that has 20 to 30 bucks in value? The math doesn't add up for a collector box. It hasn't for a while. People don't see it all the time, but it's just not the same. Wizards got to get on that, or those are going to fail long term big time. When you look at the Commander decks, they held up fine. They've been on sale for a while. They've been cheaper, but even though they're on sale, they're not selling. Nobody's looking back on them yet. Eventually that will happen. Somebody will at some point. Some new card will connect things. Connect the dot. Polka dot door. That's a Canada thing. Kind of crazy, guys. Either way, thought I would mention it. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Got my coffee. Now I'm going to go eat some lasagna, if you can believe it. I know. Treat myself to some lasagna. And I guess it was all homemade, including the pasta. Guys, have a great one. See you tomorrow. Ramble Jamble! Yeah. Ramble Jamble.